Welcome back to part 2 of my abuse story. This section of the tale is about how things start to go a bit awry. So this is when there are some major red flags that come up, and I notice them, but I ignore them because I am blinded by love lust. Definitely not the first person to have done this, and I probably won't be the last person, but hopefully by telling you guys this story, you can at least be more aware of this for future relationships. So this video takes place during the first 3 months that my boyfriend and I are dating. So this is the summer before my senior year of college. And the crux of this story surrounds the time when I mess up. In quotation marks, because this might be a more contentious part of my story. And I have been so thoroughly brainwashed over it that even for me, it's a bit confusing, about my feelings surrounding it. But regardless of whether you think I didn't do anything wrong, what I did was neutral, or I did bad thing, my actions don't justify what transpires after this. I just want to be clear about that. Okay, so further context. This summer, my best friend and I are staying in the city where we went to college. One, we think it'll be fun to kind of stay there and do our thing, but also it's right before we are going to go into our senior year. So it's a way to kind of get our feet wet for the real world, and our families are completely supportive of this. The problem is that we have to pay for the apartment that we're subletting, pay for bills, pay for food. We gotta survive. So both of us are applying for jobs, for whatever office job, part-time job, internship that we can get. But during this part of the story, I'm the only one with a job. I work at a bar, which is kind of whatever. It was a job, whatever. The problem, though, is that I was working at a college bar. So even though it would be really busy, I wasn't entirely making a lot of money because college students don't have a lot of money to tip. And I was like, wow, if I had a job at a bar, I should have worked at a much nicer bar. So one night, while I'm at work, it's a bit slow, and I started talking to this guy that, managers knew him, and he worked in the nightlife service industry in that area, and we're talking, and I kind of tell him that, I like the job, and I'm not making enough money, and my friend and I are barely getting by at this point, and he suggests that on one of my days off, I could come out and meet him, and he would take me to some other places and introduce me to people that he knows, so maybe I could get a better job. I'm not totally sold on working at a bar the entire summer, but I was always a bit of a hustler, so even if I got office jobs, which I got 2 different part-time office jobs later on in the summer, I wasn't against working at a bar 2 to 3 times a week to really make some extra money. I wasn't opposed to it. Seemed cool to me. We exchanged information. I tell my boyfriend about this plan. He's totally whatever about it. Cool, right? So the night rolls around that I'm going to meet up with this guy. I text my boyfriend to let him know that I'm about to head out to meet him. And my boyfriend flips out and goes hard. He's like, why would you meet up with this guy? You don't even know him, or do you really know him? Is this something going on? Like, is there something between you guys? How can you be so stupid? He doesn't want to help you. He's just trying to get you out so he can have sex with you. How could you be so naive and dumb. Are you trying to cheat on me? Is this like a conspiracy against me? Like he was going in. And I'm just like, where is this coming from? I have never given him any reason to not trust me or to think that I would be unfaithful. If I was going to cheat on him, why would I tell him exactly where I'm going and exactly who I'm hanging out with? Wouldn't I say I'm going to hang out with a girlfriend? Or not say that I'm going out at all since he's not around? Like, what? And also, perhaps that guy's intentions aren't entirely pure, but he was never making the argument that this guy was going to roofie me and rape me. It was that I was choosing to go hang out with him and cheat on him. So even if you don't trust that guy, why wouldn't you trust me? We're going and hanging out in public spaces. What? So I see these text messages and we were on the phone and we were talking and I'm just kind of like, you need to relax. You need to trust me. I'm not going to do anything wrong. You can text me the entire night. I'm going to go out. Text me. So I go. And it's really kind of a whatever night. We go to a few different places. He introduces me to this girl who's a bartender and some owner. And it's just kind of like, whatever. But I feel like that's how, the nightlife industry is. And to be fair, that guy was pretty flirty with me. And at the end of the night, he was really seeming to push hard for me to stay with him and have sex with him. And I was like, no, I have a boyfriend. I'm going home. And I went home. And that was that. The next day, my boyfriend shows up at my apartment and breaks up with me. And is just flipping out. And he's like, how could you do this to me? You broke my heart. You're so cruel. And you went and cheated on this guy. And I'm like, I never cheated on you. And he's like, and you slept with him? This is terrible. And I'm just like, what? Because part of me is like, this is so unfounded and ridiculous, and I'm being blamed for something that I didn't do. And then a bigger part of me is madly in love with this guy. Remember? Where is my love story? And he showed up. I thought I loved him before I even knew him. It was fate, right? I care about him. Plus, I am listening to him talk about how hurt he was. And I don't want him to be hurt. I don't want to hear that. That's terrible. I didn't intend to do that. It makes me feel bad. So what do? I apologize. I didn't mean it. I can make up for it. I'm so sorry. I never want to hurt you. See, this is a critical part of a toxic, abusive relationship. The abuser is going to find something, any reason, to make their partner out to be a bad person, whether founded or unfounded. They're going to find a reason to put that partner on unequal standing, make them feel bad. And obviously because the partner loves the abuser, they don't know they're an abuser yet, they want to make up for it. And this could be anything. Like, for example, maybe a guy likes some random picture of another girl on Instagram. His girlfriend finds out, flips out. If the guy loves his girlfriend, he's going to feel terrible. He's going to be like, I'm sorry. I just liked it. I didn't mean anything by it. I'm so sorry. But you know what? Now she can be suspicious of him being unfaithful or lying or just being a bad person or inconsiderate. even if it's just nothing. And so, after an abuser finds that event, that thing to, make their partner feel bad about, next comes the most important piece of an abusive relationship, and that is isolating their partner. It's usually very slow. It was for me, and very insidious, but it happened, and it's kind of game over once you're isolated. Now, the process of isolation for me was partially by his design, and then also a bit just coincidental. And unfortunately, there were a lot of moments, like critical moments in our relationship that just kind of happened by coincidence, and how things really escalated and happened the way they happened, right? Anyway, okay. So, we moved past my mishap, right? And we're having a good relationship. We're happy, right? So one day, we're talking, and he had just reactivated his Facebook account. And we're sitting there, and we're chatting about it, and I'm joking a bit, and I'm like, hey, now that you have your Facebook again, we should say we're in a relationship on Facebook so we can be Facebook official. And his demeanor changes. He's like, why would we need to say we're in a relationship on Facebook for it to be official? I was like, that was kind of a joke. And he was like, I don't need Facebook to tell me that I'm in love with you. And he's like, honestly, you know what? I'm going to delete my Facebook. I don't need it. It's stupid. Plus, I saw on your Facebook that guys had commented on your wall and being all flirty and inappropriate with you. It's stupid. I don't like it. BTW, these comments are from before he and I ever met. Moving forward. And he's like, yeah, I mean, you should delete your Facebook too, because you already have the phone numbers of all your girlfriends, so you can contact them still. Facebook is just a way for creepy guys to try to flirt with you. Plus, it's just a huge waste of time. You should delete it. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, you have a point. I can still contact everyone I really want to talk to, like all my really good friends, and it is a waste of time. I'm not like married to Facebook, but sure, whatever, I'll delete it. No big deal. But deep down, I felt like that wasn't really a good idea. But hey, it's just Facebook. It really isn't a big deal, right? Fast forward, now it's late August, getting into September, and my fall semester is starting. Part of the coincidental part of the isolation is that my two best girlfriends, both abroad this semester. The other girls that I knew, I didn't really have their phone numbers. I would have communicated with them on Facebook. And then my other really good friends that I text, well, they're guys. So school starts. One of my guy friends texts me, and he's like, hey, are you back? Let's hang out. And to be fair, this guy and I had a very flirty relationship before. We had never hooked up or done anything like that. We were just friends. And when he starts texting me, one of the first things I say is, I'm doing so great. I have a new boyfriend. I'm so happy. Like, I want you to meet him. Let's hang out, blah, blah, blah. I tell my boyfriend about this, obviously, because duh. And he's not too pleased about it. He's like, why is this guy still texting you to hang out when you told him you have a boyfriend? I'm like, well, 'cause we're friends? He's like, no, he's just not your friend. He's trying to sleep with you. Guys just aren't going to be friends with a girl. No, he's just trying to fuck you. Like, why doesn't he get the point? You know what? You should change your phone number. Yeah, you're going to graduate soon. You're going to apply for jobs here. You're not moving back home, so you need a local area code anyway. You have all the phone numbers of your friends and your family that you want to talk to. And then guys like this who just don't get the point, they can't contact you anymore. You should do it. Change your phone number. And I'm like, you have a point. It would be probably good for me to get a local phone number, and I have the contact information for people that I want to talk to. So, okay, I'll change my phone number. Deep down, I really felt like that wasn't the thing that I should be doing. But I changed my phone number because, hey, it's just phone number. It doesn't matter. But the problem is that now I don't really want to contact anyone because I'm not really comfortable with having a tense conversation with my boyfriend and being made to feel like I'm doing something wrong, even if I'm just talking to a friend. And by being isolated from other people, these ideas that, other guys, they're just trying to prey on me. They're just trying to have sex with me. That starts to seem more like the truth. And even girls, right? They're bad influences. He starts telling me that my best friend, that over the summer, one day when I was at work and they were just hanging out at the apartment, he tells me that she was coming on to him. She was trying to hit on him. I was like, that fucking bitch. Probably not true. But when you have no one else to talk to, that could be true. And then, unfortunately, coincidentally, I'm not very close to my family. So they weren't really a resource for me to go to and ask for advice and say, hey, does this sound right? So I slowly but surely become very isolated from the rest of the world. And that will lead us into part 3, when things become very apparently abusive. And remember, during this portion of the story, other than these moments that I talk about, the relationship is good. We're happy, we're having fun together, we're in love, but obviously things are starting to not be quite so happy. There's starting to be a little bit of an undertone of him being very insecure, very controlling. And we're going to see how far that takes us in the next portion of the video. I will see you guys next time.